It's one of the most popular board games in the world is chess. It is played by millions of people, and it has been around for centuries. Today, I'm going to teach you a little bit about chess, the history behind chess and how it has advanced, how to play chess, hopefully, and finally, the benefits to self and society. So for starters, chess, again, has been around for centuries. Starting early in the 658 AC, it was played in India, and instead of using the pieces that we more commonly know today, they used elephants and other pieces to represent pieces on the board. But then advancing to the 1500s, which is where chess became what we know today. There's a lot of advancement at the time, and back then in 700 BC, chess was really, really slow, and it wasn't very exciting to watch. It took a very long time to actually complete a game, but then advancing to the 1500s became a lot faster and a lot more exciting. So here's where I'm going to start talking about how to actually play chess. So chess is a board game consisting of a checkered board with 64 spaces on it, and two sides, the white and the black side. Each side has 16 pieces consisting of 8 pawns that are set up in a line across either side. And then after the pawns come the rooks that are set up in the corners of each side. And then come the knights, and then the bishops, and the king, and the queen. And now this goes for both sides, and both sides have the same pieces. They're identical in all their movements, and it's essentially a battle between which person can take the other person's king. Now the order in which the pieces are most valuable go from king, obviously, because if you lose your king, you lose the game. And then queen, and then after the queen comes the rook. After the rook comes the bishop, and then after the bishop comes the pawns. Actually, the knights, and then the pawns. So the way it's played is that each person takes a turn by moving one piece. Now, at the start of the game, white goes first, and they can choose to move any of their pieces as long as the piece that they move does not go through another piece or does not land on the same piece as them. The only exception to this rule is the knight, which moves in an L shape by going 2 spaces forward, or 2 spaces in any direction, really, besides diagonal, and then 1 space over. And the knight is the only piece that can jump over pieces. So each piece has a different move set. The pawns, for example, can move 1 space forward and can only take other pieces by attacking in diagonal direction. Something also interesting about the pawns is that they can move 2 spaces in their first turn, but only in their first turn. The rooks, they can move all the way across the board in any direction, so they can go in any of the 4 cardinal directions. The bishops can move all the way across the board in the diagonal direction. And the queen, probably the most powerful piece on the board, which is something you do not want to lose early, has both the moveset of the rook and the bishop combined, so that she can move diagonally all the way across the board or in one of the 4 cardinal directions. So by using all of your different pieces, the objective is to take the opposing king. Now, the reason this game is so successful is because in the first 6 moves of the game, there exists over 10 billion possible moves. So no game is alike. So now that you know how to play chess, I think it's important to talk about why it's important for people to play chess. Like for some of the benefits in chess, according to the New York Times, is the fact that it can increase your IQ by can use both sides of your brain, and ultimately increases your brain power by exercising both sides of your brain. So to recap, we talked about the history of chess, and then we talked about how to play chess, and then finally we discussed some of the benefits to self and society. Now, I know that might have been a little bit rushed, but with a little bit of practice, a little bit of dedication, learning some of the strategies, I hope that all of you someday will become grandmasters. Thank you.